the entire site to work with. We no longer need this throughway area for the ramp for the buses to turn into the bus depot, so we expand the block, achieve a few more square footage. We account for the proposed East Harlem Media, Entertainment, and Cultural Center, which will be built right across the street. Maybe you didn't see that. I didn't really see that. That's the Harlem River Esplanade extension. A brand new entranceway will be created along this island block area here. And also, on top of that, the Harlem River Drive Highway will be reconstructed. So it'll be more visually permeable, as it will now sit on concrete piers as opposed to the walls that currently exist there, which will allow greater visibility of our waterfront. Highlighted in orange is as I indicated earlier, was the original burial ground. This is the floodplain, which actually covers the original area. Not surprisingly, as we saw in the map, our area was built onto the water. So to counteract this flooding force, we devised a plinth, a raised base on which our project will be built. Using this plinth, we then reintroduced the original burial ground. But instead of, we retained the original borders and we created a kind of green space, open space that will become a central feature of the site. But it also allows us an opportunity through the creation of this secondary green space to create a kind of welcoming arm that brings you into the site and has a dialogue with the Harlem River Park extension. What we see here in the center axis is a memorial space, which will, in the subsequent renderings you will see, will be more fleshed out. But suffice it to say, it's a set of steps that descend and then ramps up. And there are a number of 3 reflecting pools, signify life, resurrection, and a memorial bridge under which we will inscribe the names of those interred, which we have actually uncovered, I think over 200 names or so. Wow. So given these 2 features, the open green area, which was the original demarcated boundary of the burial ground, the memorial space with the reflecting pools, we were able to devise the footprints of this space, which would be mixed use. It would also incorporate things like commercial space, affordable housing, and in turn create economic employment opportunities. We extrude from these footprints what I believe to be a sensible, responsible massing that slowly builds from a 5 to 6 story height and slowly builds to this towering building here, which is around 16 stories. And this is where we house our mixed-use opportunities. The buildings also create opportunities for roof gardens and green space up above. Terraces, community terraces, which is what we're calling. This is the existing site plan of the bus depot. Next slide shows what we're proposing. This is an aerial image. So we can see here the descending steps, the memorial bridge, the reflecting pools along the ramp, the footprints of the buildings themselves, and the memorial space, which is green and open. And on the periphery are these community gardens, which are derived from Lenape Indian textile patterns, which is why the gardens are arranged in that kind of shape and pattern. These are a few of the call-outs I just mentioned. And I'm going to just pause here because these are one of our elders who's part of the task force mentioned that she wanted not simply the words, not simply the names of those interred to be inscribed in the memorial, but also words of great significance related to the history of the site. And I think these are very pertinent. we use as a precedent the FDR Memorial in Washington, D.C. I don't know if any of you have been. They incorporate the words of FDR, and in a similar fashion, we try to incorporate the words of great historical figures like Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass. So I'll give you a minute or two to just kind of review that. Now I'm going to set up a little model so you guys can view that later on.